live. Wow, how cool is that? Love the iPhone, love the smartphone. Oh, wow, look, Black Lives Matter, big sign. Well, I think all lives matter. Black lives, white, pink, yellow. At least my study of metaphysics, the more you focus on differences, the more energy you put behind that, more... Oh, wow, look, all right, I'll start rambling. Look in the background. There is, I don't know if you can see it. I am in front of the White House for the first time in my life. That's interesting. Joe! I'll see if maybe like that Capitol raid on the 6th where I saw those videos of the police removing the barricade and just letting the people in. Maybe Joe will fulfill his promise to clean things up. Oh, excuse me, sir. Clean up the regulation, and I'm told the Treasury Department. Is the Treasury in there, do you know?
I don't.
Okay, well, I'll find it. Sure, I would think that given that I don't know, I've been trying to find what government agency is interested in massive fraud and corruption like they say during the campaign promises. I asked the Secret Service, they didn't really know. Said, Treasury is somewhere around there. And so, as you'll see, if anyone cares to be on comment, I just say, left Wall Street. I have evidence of massive manipulation and fraud in the financial markets by the banks and the regulators. Interested in the evidence. I don't know. So far, there are no takers. We'll leave these folks off camera, but no one is interested. No one's interested in fraud over there, but ooh, what have we got here? Guilty. People's verdict. Guilty. Excuse me, sir. Is it okay to film? Yes? You don't want to film without your permission. Is it okay?
First Amendment gives you that right.
Yeah. Do you mind being on camera?
No, I'm not very photogenic.
Oh, you're beautiful. Although, it looks like you've set up a memorial right outside of the White House.
39 years ago.
May I?
I'm just here for health and friends.
Do you have any idea? I used to work in Wall Street. Good God, did I find it's even more corrupt than you would imagine.
Yeah.
And now I found evidence that I've been just asking for questions, like the CFTC seems to be complicit, but they don't, like as a citizen, where do you go when you have evidence of fraud and corruption on Wall Street and that government agencies are part of it?
Go to Ralph Nader.
Ralph Nader? Is he a government official?
No, he's been a consumer advocate for 30 years. No, he was a consumer advocate when I was in high school.
Right, and I'll check in with him too. But I mean, the government, you would think they would care if there's blatant evidence because they talk about it during the campaign promises. So, how do I get to the Treasury Department? Do you know?
I can show you where it is.
All right, I appreciate that. Wanted wisdom and honesty, sir. I think you're gonna have. At least you have the sign pointed away from the White House. I don't think they know those words.
Across the street over there.
Across the street. Can you describe which one we're looking at?
Well, you can't
So
see
it's
much,
somewhere back there. That's the Treasury.
What you can see, the employees go through this gate.
Yeah.
Right to the Treasury Department.
Wow. Think Janet's there today?
That's,
She might be busy counting cash. You never know that Treasury. There's so much money they're printing these days. Probably need a whole staff. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Nukes are not pro-life. Actually, another question I have. What's the only country that ever, at least knowingly, launched not one, but two nuclear missiles? Oh, it's those guys, right?
what?
It's the U.S. Nobody else has ever launched.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a question I've had. I don't know. Maybe you know or someone in there. Now, my study of history is that Japan had already offered to surrender as long as they could keep their emperor as the figurehead.
Yeah.
And so then they launched not one. I mean, one nuke is bad enough, but like you'd think that have made the point. I've never read in my history books what was the reason for a second nuke, and then they took the exact same terms of surrender that were offered before either nuke. But I'll see what I can find out. Appreciate you, sir. God bless. All right.
Go
Yep.
one more block.
One more block.
15th Street.
15th Street.
They'll take the other side of the Treasury.
Okay. Maybe I'll make a sign saying, "Can I get a FaceTime with Janet?"
There's a Treasury annex. Red building.
All right. Oh, look. Thanks, buddy. All right. Maybe the answers are this way. Treasury, here we come. This is so cool. Washington, D.C. Almost feels like something just painted in a movie set, but Department of Veteran Affairs. Oh. I'm guessing they would not want to answer my question of how veterans feel that are on fixed income and watching the value of what they're receiving get ripped off by the Treasury and the Fed. But we'll pick and choose what we're doing today, so. Kind of interesting. This is the last day I'll be here. Yara, who equipped me with a mobile battery pack. How slick is that? So we are back on the scene, progressing. And I understand. Everyone wants to meet Janet. I wonder if maybe they work outside. It's a beautiful day here. So look at National Metropolitan Bank. Look at that palace. Wow. It's a lovely building, don't you think?
Oh,
Like your coat. Wow, what a big bank. I mean, maybe you can find someone in there that studies the silver market, right next to the Treasury. We are still there. All right. Looks like we are. So, Washington Hotel. Told the Treasury is this way. Assuming if I invited Janet Yellen to tea. I did work for Merrill Lynch for a summer in 2004 while they were slicing up mortgage crap, so I don't know. It was like, hey, man, Janet, former banking experience. Well, I don't have the greatest iPhone here today, so it's coming through choppy. Well, we got a protest rally. How cool. Oh, please tell me that picture of some woman on that sign is Janet Yellen. Please, please, please. Yellen, please, please, please. Hope I'm coming through. If we need to edit the darn video later, we will, but wow, how exciting. This is, so what is this mammoth thing? Spot for some people who don't have a home or lost their home during the housing bubble. Maybe they could stay there. What the heck is that thing? Ooh. Time's up for fossil fuels. Wow. I'm running out. I hear they're running out of silver around here too. I'll see if I can figure that one out. Hello, fellas. How are the fossil fuels going today? If you guys, fossil fuels or climate change, check with Rostin Benham. He's a commissioner at the CFTC that I can't get official answers, but it seems like they're into some dirty stuff. Ross? All right, we're gonna go back this way. Sorry about that. Thing keeps, now I can actually see everybody. Questions, anybody? Who has okay, wow, that's so cool. People are watching at home. Think I got the tech issues figured out. Sorry about turning the picture, but at least we will not be interrupted. Does anybody watching at home know, is there a place where one goes to find out from government how the silver price falls 10% on the single greatest day of demand in history, according to the LBMA? Love the way Chris linked climate change to silver and the CFTC. Well, since you say so, thank you. There's so many people to thank. I didn't develop that talent just on my own. Ross was an influence. The whole Jeff Curry getting to leave the legend of voicemail yesterday, that was inspirational. So everybody watching at home, I give the credit to you. Check this out. Here's my thank you present. Ooh, we are close. Who thinks Joe Biden trades silver? Oh, actually better yet. Maybe if the Pelosi family is here, and as I mentioned in one of my movies the other night, I was reading this article about Paul Pelosi, Nancy's husband, and how this guy put some call options on. He made a fortune right before they got a $22 billion contract. This was on Microsoft. Ooh, wow, look, an Egyptian monument right in the nation's capital. I remember watching a Mark Dice video about that one. It was kind of unusual. Although I'm Egyptian, so I'm going to check that out. It's half Egyptian. It's like some heritage stuff there. So how fortunate I am here. Yeah, so anyway, if Nancy's around, we can see how Paul the legend, I think he must be a Jeff Curry client. That's the only way you could be that great. See, I thought I was trained pretty well at Susquehanna International Group. Sorry, fellas, for mentioning your name, but hey, actually, I would say this is for the good of the country, unlike anything I've ever seen in politics. But I thought I was well trained there because these guys, they got their start. Their buddies at SUNY Binghamton. This is a true story, by the way. And so they were really good with statistics. They understood probability. I've not been filming you. I'm just taking a tour. So, oh wow, the gate is open. Look at this security. You know, they're allowed to just walk in. No trespassing. No guards, but the signs. I guess as I'm getting ready to leave the U.S. for the second time for all the things that you've been seeing and hearing and blah, 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 blah. Freedom this, honor, integrity that. I guess as I'm getting ready to leave, we'll do a little soliloquy here. In honor of Anthony Blinken, new secretary of something or the other. I don't even give a shit what he does. But he went to China a couple of weeks ago. I never heard of this guy before. He was lecturing the Chinese on American diplomacy. I think it was actually the day after Joe Biden threatened to kick Putin's ass. Ooh, that's a good question we can ask today. Can anyone explain to me if Joe Biden threatening Putin and inferring a veiled nuclear threat, is that worthy of impeachment? And if it's not, what the heck do you have the whole impeachment thing for anyway? Oh, so we can get some media clicks when Bill Clinton gets a blowjob. It seems a little silly, as do a lot of things, but I'll walk around and again, we'll see back there. If I run into Paul Pelosi, though, oh yeah, I was telling the story about Susquehanna. I'll say, Paul, I was trained by these guys. This was before anyone knew anything about options. This was before put call parity was discovered. It was funny the time during our training, they had this guy walk in and derive the Black-Scholes formula. They gave out Nobel Prizes. You know, all these guys also gave out prizes to Obama for peace, but yeah, so this guy came and derived the this was at the shop I was trained at for option trading. And guy came and derived Black-Scholes from the beginning. It was like about 12 seconds in before he was using Greek notations. Like, I need sigma, alpha. He was like deep down the alphabet. I'm like, I don't even know what the symbol meant. I mean, it could have been an ounce of silver on the blackboard for all I had known back then. And but here's the funny part. These guys were so good with statistics. This was before the crash in 1987. They would go to the racetrack and win. And then finally, the owner of the shop got staked to a seat on the Philadelphia Stock Exchange. This was prior to 1987. And they didn't know that the economy was going to collapse. I mean, it's not like they hadn't been studying the Austrian economics credit cycle and known that it was a Ponzi scheme inflated bubble. But they had calculated that the put skew to the downside was wildly mispriced, as tail risk usually is these days. And so they made a lot of money on that. Now he describes he's had mixed emotions. It's in a public interview. Or you can get The New Market Wizards by Jack Schwager, available in print or audio copy, and listen to the Jeff Yass chapter. He talks about it there, so I think it's fair game to mention. So they made a lot of money. That was what started Susquehanna. And let's try this, see if that goes a little better. That started their options shop. And then one other quick story. So these guys knew what they were doing. They would go to the racetrack and win. They would come home with cash. Now, I don't know, maybe Paul Pelosi can do that too, or maybe he's that good, but I'm wondering, this guy Paul, I don't know, I'm not trying to sound arrogant or whatever when I say this, but just my honest opinion. If somebody wanted to bet on something, even if I didn't, if you wanted to go to Las Vegas, a racetrack, any sort of gaming competition, we could pick teams like in kickball, and you could have JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. I didn't even realize this at the time I joined there, but I would be comfortable blindly betting if I had those guys on my side that I trained under versus any of these nitwit banks. I mean, come on, man. Look at Jeff Curry. The guy's beating up on a moron. So I don't feel bad saying that. I called him, left him a voicemail yesterday. He didn't call me back. He's probably busy. Maybe on his way to jail. We'll see how that goes. But yeah. But I think even Susquehanna, they could learn from Paul Pelosi, his option trading genius. Ooh, look how beautiful this is out here. And maybe we can, I will try and get footage of the congressional hearings holding that man accountable for betraying his wife's oath, whatever the heck you want to call it. They're all dirty and they all know it and they don't. Well, maybe I'll gain the power from this phallic Egyptian monument symbol right across from the White House. It's kind of weird. It's like the end of Ghostbusters. Look at that sky. Ooh. Wonder what that usual looking building. Look at all these palaces here. I mean, auction off to the public. At least Paul's got some extra bucks. Maybe he could buy one of these. We could pay off some debt. But well, I'm going to wrap up for now. Got an interview coming up in a little bit. Should probably start walking back soon. Or maybe we'll do it live from here. That would be fun. Go check my Twitter feed. Honored to be invited on to Palisade Radio. That's right, Sarah. In a little bit. And I put out a tweet, which Piggin, Washington criminal monument would you like me to use as my backdrop? And you can comment there. Actually, you can comment on the video. I'll get those comments up here again. Where would you like me to do my Palisades radio interview from? Oh, there we go. Chris, your finger is creeping over the lens. Sorry about that. Well, you go find it on Twitter, post the comments, and check back in.